Welcome to Catholic News World.
Welcome to Catholic News World. Please subscribe to our channel. My name is Steph. Here are this week's breaking news headlines.
Another Catholic priest has been kidnapped in Nigeria, Africa. Father Christian Ike, parish priest of St. Matthew's Church in Ajali, in the southern state of Anambra, was kidnapped along with another person on the morning of June 16th. This was announced by the Diocese of Equialobia in a statement. Dear brothers and sisters, please pray for the release of Father Christian Ike and Mr. Agbania Anik, who were kidnapped this morning at around 9:45 a.m. while returning from Mass in the suburbs of St. Matthew's Parish in Ajali, reads a statement issued by the Chancellor of the Diocese, Father Lawrence Nwankwo. According to the police reconstruction, based on the account of an eyewitness, the priest and some other people were returning from St. Michael's Church where they had celebrated morning Mass. When they arrived at the junction of Amiga, their vehicle was stopped by armed men who came in 3 vehicles. While 2 people managed to escape, the attackers took the priest and another person and also stole some personal belongings of the vehicle's occupants. In May, at least 2 other priests were kidnapped in Nigeria and released after a few days, while in June, in Kaduna State, Father Gabriel Yuka was kidnapped and released. The Diocese of Equialobia, where Father Christian Ike lives and works, is headed by Cardinal Peter Ebra Okpalik. A record-breaking, over 15,000 people participated in the Eucharistic procession, called Walk with Jesus, in Sydney, Australia. Australia has recently applied to host the International Eucharistic Congress in 2028. More than 15,000 faithful came together for the Corpus Christi procession. The event was led by Sydney's Archbishop Anthony Fisher, who was greeted by the crowds with joy. He spoke about Australia's aspirations to host the International Eucharistic Congress. He explained that the participants have helped prepare this city and this country for the event that we fervently hope Pope Francis will grant us in 2028. Such a public testimony of faith certainly lends credibility to our offer. In Sydney, momentum is developing for a revitalized Eucharistic culture. Sydney Centre for Evangelization Director Daniel Ang explained, such processions are 11 in our largely disillusioned world. They remind us that people come to and deepen their faith through diverse, overlapping experiences and influences, including the holidays. They are truly treading the ground of faith together with others, rather than just speculating or observing from afar. Momentum is building for an enlivened Eucharistic culture in Sydney. The faithful have always been present, they have just been longing for an outlet to proudly declare their love of Christ, Bishop Umbers said. As thousands arrived on a cold and windy Sunday afternoon in Martin Place, their hearts were soon warmed during the pre-procession festivities with music and parishes connecting in fellowship before an introduction from St. Mary Cathedral's priest Father Roberto Kariakos. Our Catholic faith is more beautiful than the world. Jesus Christ is more beautiful than anyone else, and he calls you and I to be holy, Father Roberto told the crowds. Invite our Lord into those places that need his presence. Don't be afraid. If it's been a while, come back home. If it's been a while, run back to God. This was reported by Cath News, a website of the Australian Catholic Bishops' Conference and Catholic Weekly. 2 Catholic priests were attacked and robbed of money donations for school and the church hostel in India. In India's state of Orissa, the Catholic priests were attacked on June 15th in their home by a group of masked thieves who beat them up and robbed them. The serious act of violence occurred in Jarabahal, a parish in the Rourkela Diocese in the Sundergarh district. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of India condemned the attack in a statement issued on June 17th, calling for an appropriate inquiry and action against the perpetrators, and appealing to the federal government. They explained that the government needs to look into such incidents and direct all the state governments to ensure the security of the Christian minority community. The assault took place at night in a parish church in the Rourkela Diocese at Holy Trinity Catholic Church. They were beaten with hockey sticks and iron bars, before being robbed of all the money collected for the school and hostel. A dozen masked people broke into the priest's rectory at night. The parish priest Father Alois Zalkso, age 72, and Father Neriel Bilung, age 52, were beaten with hockey sticks and iron rods. Hospitalized, their condition is now stable. We were sleeping when the thugs entered the church after breaking the glass door, Father Zalkso recounted. They were 10 to 12 people, added Father Bilung. They tied us up, and when we shouted they attacked and injured us. They looted the money kept in the church, as well as money from the hostel and the school. According to police reports, the money stolen amounted to more than 1 million rupees, which is over $11,000. In a note, the Rourkela Diocese thanked the Jarabahal community and the local police for their support for the 2 priests who were victims of the attack. We ask for continued prayers for them, the local church writes, that they may soon heal and overcome the trauma. We invite everyone to pay attention and take all precautions to ensure that this type of incident does not happen again. The diocese explained, first, the thieves snatched the mobile phones of the priests and took them away. Though the priests showed them all the money, they continued to beat and thrash them, threatening to take their lives and putting the blades at the throats of the priests. They ransacked the house for nearly an hour. I fell unconscious, bleeding profusely, explained Father Bilung. The thieves were all wearing face masks, hand gloves, and heavy shoes. After the thieves left, Father Alois managed to untie his hands and helped Father Neriel. They could not come out of the room at night since they were afraid, and remained in the room until the morning. About 4:30 a.m., they informed other people on campus, said the release issued by the Catholic Diocese of Rourkela. Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano has been formally charged with schism by the Vatican's Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith, known as the DDF. The Vatican's DDF sent a document with the charge of the canonical crime of schism to the former papal nuncio to the United States, Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano. Vigano was papal nuncio from 2011 to 2016 and is noted for speaking against Pope Francis publicly, even refusing to call him pope. On June 20th, images were circulated of his citation in an extrajudicial process, authorized by the DDF's members on May 10th. The Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith's document, from June 11th, noted that its senior membership voted to proceed with Vigano's trial using an abbreviated extrajudicial process, rather than a full canonical trial. Vigano is ordered to appeal at the Dicastery in Rome to answer the charges on June 20th either in person or through formal legal representation. Schism is defined by canon law as the refusal of submission to the Supreme Pontiff or of communion with the members of the Church subject to him. The decree sent to Vigano states that the Archbishop is accused of making public statements, resulting in a denial of the elements necessary to maintain communion with the Catholic Church, denial of the legitimacy of Pope Francis, breaking of communion with him, and rejection of the Second Vatican Council. Vigano posted on his X account, "The Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith has informed me, with a simple email, of the initiation of an extrajudicial penal trial against me, with the accusation of having committed the crime of schism, and charging me of having denied the legitimacy of Pope Francis, of having broken communion with him, and of having rejected the Second Vatican Council. I have been summoned to the Palace of the Holy Office on June 20th, in person or represented by a canon lawyer. I assume that the sentence has already been prepared, given that it is an extrajudicial process. I regard the accusations against me as an honor. It is no coincidence that the accusation against me concerns the questioning of the legitimacy of Jorge Mario Bergoglio and the rejection of Vatican II. The Council represents the ideological, theological, moral, and liturgical cancer of which the Bergoglian Synodal Church is the necessary metastasis," Vigano wrote.
Watch our programme every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Catholic News World channel. God bless.
Please subscribe to Catholic News World's YouTube channel. Thanks and God bless.